So, we're at the end of the year and you are still single. In fact, you didn't get a girlfriend at all in 2024. Even though you spent countless hours swiping on dating apps, trying to improve your looks, and watching cold approach gurus on YouTube, you still find yourself single as a Pringle. So I thought I'd make a video to help you understand why this is. And stick around for the end, where I will offer a 5-step solution to make sure you don't have this problem again in 2025. In this video, I'm not going to make any presumptions about your attractiveness, your dating methods, or the kind of girl you were looking for. And I promise to be brutally honest, because that's the kind of information that will actually help you. Hello, my name is James, and I am on a mission to create a generation of gentlemen. First, we need to talk about your self-awareness. You might be single still because you don't understand your strengths and weaknesses in relationships. You don't fully understand what you can bring to the table or what a potential partner is looking for. If you don't have a strong sense of identity and enough going on in your life, it's going to be very hard to attract a woman. Perhaps you are presenting yourself in a way that doesn't resonate with the girls you are meeting. From what I have observed in the social realm and in the nightlife scene, a lot of things that men try and do to pick up women or to get their attention ends up looking incredibly low status. It's possible that in your efforts to attract a girlfriend, you actually just appear desperate. There is still a need to play somewhat of a game, to do a romantic type of dance, even if you do genuinely like somebody and they genuinely like you back. There is still a need for seduction. If you don't understand that, then you might accidentally come across as too disinterested. Another problem I see a lot of men having is that they don't fully understand what women like or what they are looking for. Have you watched too many red pill videos? Are you caught up in this idea of hypergamy? Perhaps you are undervaluing yourself. Or maybe you're trying to come across as somebody you're not because you are second guessing what women like and trying to fit into this very narrow definition of what an attractive man can be. Remember, being on the dating market, it's kind of like owning a shop. The outside of the shop must look inviting and must advertise what you have to offer, but the goods inside are what will make people buy. Another reason you might not have found a girlfriend in 2024 is because you have very inconsistent levels of effort and strategy. Although we have this romantic sense that the perfect partner will just magically appear in front of our eyes one day, the reality is, if you are serious about a relationship, if you are genuinely looking for that companionship, you need to dedicate time and effort to find one. So if in 2024 you've relied on a sporadic approach or you've hoped to just chance meet a partner, then it's likely you need to double down on your efforts to find more potential matches. I understand as much as anybody how frustrating and how time-consuming dating can be, but if it is truly a priority for you, you need to take it as seriously as a part-time job. At the same time, you might have tried the wrong methods. You might be on the wrong kinds of apps for the person you're looking for. You might be going to the wrong places. These could all have hindered your success. Another reason many young men are struggling to attract a partner these days is because they have big emotional or behavioral blocks. So I'm talking about unresolved personal insecurities, perhaps relationship baggage from a previous girlfriend or experiences from childhood that you haven't worked through that can inadvertently push people away. As soon as somebody gets close to you, then you change slightly, or they discover that you weren't who they thought you were, and they will run a mile. For example, if you've been hurt in the past, you might be very guarded, you might be very focused on yourself, and this can make it very difficult for people to enter your world. In order to seduce somebody, there needs to be a level of openness. On the other hand, if you are overly agreeable, if you seem too people-pleasing, that can be incredibly off-putting. I think the correct place to be is a balance somewhere in the middle. You need to be happy and contented with your life, yet still open to the possibility of somebody joining you. And sometimes it can simply take time to heal from past relationships or to explore and understand yourself on a deeper level before you are truly ready for somebody to enter your life. I also see that many young men have misaligned expectations about what a girlfriend should be or the type of girlfriend they are looking for. You have to consider what's available in your current social environment. For example, if you're a young man of 18 or 19, attending school or college, if you are looking to date for marriage, that's going to exclude 95 to 98% of women in your age category. It's also a danger to become overly romantic, and this is something I've struggled with in the past. You have a very clear vision of the woman you're trying to find. You can even see her in your mind. And anybody else that enters your life and comes on your radar that doesn't fit into this exact ideal, you immediately discount and discard. But being so closed off can actually inhibit you from meeting and connecting with somebody that would be a really good partner for you. I do think that online pornography has also had a negative impact in this sense. The ease of access to sexual excitement, it sets an idea in a young man's mind of how a woman should look, the things that she should do in the bedroom, and I think that can have a very negative impact when trying to form relationships with women in the real world. And finally, we are in an epidemic of limited social exposure. Young men and young women are spending more time alone than at any other point in our history. But meeting the right person often involves expanding your social circle and stepping out of your comfort zone. If you work from home all day and then spend your evenings on the sofa watching Netflix, you can't expect anybody to come into your life. You have to leave your shell, you have to leave the familiar and enter the social realm. So if you weren't in the right places this year, then it's very unlikely you would have crossed paths with somebody who might have been a good fit for you. And whatever your personality, there are many hobbies, many events and social gatherings that you can attend where you will meet people who are potentially compatible with you. And now we're going to move on and talk about how to address this issue, starting with the first point, which is to broaden your social calendar. And this section of the video is going to be very action-based. Look at networking mixers, cultural events or workshops in your city. And you can use websites like Meetup, Eventbrite, and even local community notice boards to find these events. You should also join hobby groups so that you can naturally meet people that you have things in common with. These can be more traditional groups like book clubs, art classes, or historical societies. But actually, if you're in your 20s, to meet more people your age, I recommend doing something like a run club, salsa dancing, or hiking. And another great way to meet some fantastic people is by volunteering. So you can find a cause that you are passionate about. Maybe it's an animal shelter, maybe it's a mentoring program so you can help be a positive force in a young boy's life. And the women you will meet in these settings are often going to have very valuable characteristics like compassion and kindness, which might be the exact type of woman you're looking for. The second step is to engage with your current network and work with what you already have. So don't be afraid to tell friends and family that you're looking to meet somebody. In our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation, people would often meet their future wives and husbands thanks to a friend setting them up. I'm actually going on a date this Tuesday that was set up thanks to a mutual friend that I know through this channel. And to expand your current network, why don't you have a go at hosting an event yourself? And this doesn't have to be super high pressure with lots of pre-planning. It can be as simple as inviting your friends over to watch the game or to have a dinner party. And encourage them to bring a friend along too, so you get to meet with more people. And even if it ends up being all guys who come over, that's okay, because that's another guy that one day you might be able to say to, hey, I'm looking to meet somebody. Is there anyone that you know that you could set me up with? If you're a young man looking to meet a girlfriend in 2025, you can simply spend more time in public. With working from home today, it's so easy to stay holed up in your room or your apartment, but we can actually do these activities out in public. Take your laptop to a coffee shop or a bookstore. Spend your weekends exploring activities in your city like farmers markets and exhibitions. I also recommend that you become a regular at a place that you feel resonates with your character and your personality. Maybe it's a particular coffee shop, maybe it's a particular library, or even a gym. But these are all places where people gather, they relax, and they are open to socialization. And if you decide you want to talk to somebody, then do it confidently. It doesn't have to be a big deal. You can start off with a very light-hearted remark. For example, if you see somebody reading a book that you've read before, you can say, "Oh, that's a great book. What do you think of it so far?" And it is important that you learn to master the art of the approach. Be observant and look for a natural opening. Don't simply barge yourself into people's personal space or private conversation. If you see somebody wearing an interesting accessory, don't be afraid to go up and ask them about it. Remember to keep your conversation casual and open. You can simply make a comment about the environment or a particular drink or meal somebody's having just to break the ice. And I highly recommend you practice this not only with women, but with anybody. Being a conversationalist, being an open person, it's a skill, it takes practice. But talk to an old man next to you, talk to an old lady. That's a very low pressure way for you to get those reps in. So when the beautiful woman comes down and sits next to you, it won't feel so unfamiliar and so strange to strike up a conversation. And if you feel like you've struck a connection with the person you're attracted to, definitely exchange contacts and set up a date. But if they don't want to, that's no problem. Simply end the interaction there and move on politely. Getting better at conversation and approaching people, it's all very great, but you also need to build your inner confidence. Confidence is perhaps the most attractive trait of all. And when you are a confident man, you have that deep inner sense of self and confidence. It's like a ray of light that radiates this attractive energy that people pick up on. To become more confident, you need to become a better version of you. Commit to fitness, personal growth, hygiene and style, and do things that make you feel like an attractive and accomplished person. You also need to practice your social skills in situations that aren't related to dating. Being comfortable and confident in all situations is what builds that magnetic charisma. And remember to give yourself feedback after a date or a social event. It would be a bit weird to text your date asking for feedback, but you can reflect yourself on what you did well and what you can improve based on both her reactions and also your gut feeling. As you go about this journey trying to attract a partner, focus on locations that are high-yield environments for the type of lady you're looking for. I know many of the men who watch my channel are looking for a more traditional, feminine type of woman, so I was thinking about some locations in my city that I could go to meet that kind of woman. I would certainly begin with more cultural events like the Art Institute or classical concerts. If you're a man of faith, become more involved in your church. Many women in these settings also value traditional relationships. But you're likely also looking for a lady who appreciates a more sophisticated lifestyle and, let's be honest, a lady who will look good on your arm. So check out upscale lounges and cafes, take dancing lessons, and go for cooking classes or even wine tasting experiences. All of these places are collaborative, they're low pressure, and you will naturally meet people and already have something to talk about because you're already sharing one experience in common. Gentlemen, I have made a free PDF with my 5-step strategy to help you meet more women in 2025. So you can take all of the information I've shared with you in this video, then see a roadmap laid out in the PDF that you can finally put into practice. Each of these steps comes with an action point, so you know that if you actually download this PDF and actually make use of the information, then I guarantee you will meet more women that could be potential partners for you. You'll find the link to access that down in the description. Thank you for watching, gentlemen, and I'll see you all very soon.